Great. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you listened to some higher power.
Higher than your parents.
Exactly. Let's go to our next panelist here, Pocholo.
Yeah, Pachola, how did you get your start? And at what age did you realize you wanted to be the voice master?
First of all, I would like to say good afternoon, everyone. Magandang hapon po. I'm Pocholo Gonzalez. I still remember when I was 5 years old. I grew up in Mariveles, Bataan. I don't know if any one of you is from Bataan, but we don't have a television then. It was in 1985. I still remember that. And there was the only means of entertainment that we have is the radio. So every evening before we go to sleep, I'm hearing this radio drama called Gabi ng Lagim. And also this...
They laugh kasi natatandaan din nila yon.
And also this radio drama called 24 Horas. So when I was young, I'm imitating it already because I have nothing to do. There's no internet then, remember? So I find the voices very nice. So what I did is I'm imitating for myself. So I hear this voice like, Isang gabi ng lagim. And then there's a kid.
Lolo, gabi na po, pasensya na, kinabi tayo.
Hey, naku, apo, mag-iingat ka, may monster dito. And then, bigla,
Nako, Lolo, may monster!
anong ginagawa niyo dito? And then my mom was like, what the heck is happening to this boy? And unknowingly, that was like, I'm 7 years old then, but until I get to the school and I imitate my teacher sounds, class, bilisan nyo, matagal na, mag-start ng klase. He sounds like that. And I imitated him one time, and I said, class, I'm here, andito na ako. And all my classmates were running like, they thought that's our teacher. And until no one can touch the microphone except me, from high school to college.
I'm sure Rochelle would have prayed for you back then since you were talking in tongues. Who knows what other languages are coming out?
But that's really amazing. I mean, we always knew that there were a lot of talented people, but I think here in Meralco Theater, not a lot like you have come and performed here. But apart from finding early on what your gift was, I'm sure at the early onset, in your childhood, for you it was just all play. When did you start taking it seriously?
Well, basically, when I was in high school, my dad wants me to be a lawyer. And I said, yes, I will be a lawyer. And I took up an exam in the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and I got in. So I took up creative writing. So English creative writing, I find it so boring because I don't speak at all. Because I'm number one in the class when I was in high school, number one in the noisy list. Yeah. I always get like 100 list. So I transferred to speech communication when I was in second year. And I find myself having fun. And actually, when I was in first year, I've heard this radio ad in DZMM saying, kayo ba'y may talento sa pag-iba ng boses, sa pag-voice acting? Sumali. So I joined this voice acting competition, and I bested more than 10,000 other people, because I created like 50 different voices during that time. And then, luckily, at very young age of 16, I was given my very own radio show on that station. And it's like, why should I wait to graduate if I can do it now? But of course, I pursue my education, and I also took up my master's degree in broadcasting.
Wow, thank you for sharing.
Right.
You know, just for just a thought to share with our students that are here. Of course, we have a lot of high school and college students that have joined us on the lounge and also the balcony. That's a really important point that he said. Although he really had this talent that was very unique that he knew he could make money from, he still pursued his studies, which is really important. This is one of the points that we wanted to share in our crafting thought leadership here for this FPLA Executive Talk. Let's now go to Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan, our ER specialist. How did you get into wanting to be an ER specialist, and where did you get your start exactly?
Wow, how do you follow that though? I
You
don't
can do
have
it in
anything
different
like
voices.
that. I only have this one voice.
Are you doing surgery at age 5? Or?
Scalpel,
No,
different
actually,
voices.
I think with, well, I guess related to what Rochelle was saying, I think it's really about following your passion. I guess they say if you find something that you love to do, then you won't work a day in your life, right? And so I guess for me it's been that way, coming up through school and all that. I wasn't one of those people that knew from a young age that you have a burning desire to be a doctor or an astronaut or a fireman or something like that. It was just I just kept on doing whatever I felt was right, whatever felt right. And as I was going through school, I realized that I liked sciences. I liked, I guess, helping people, and so I even up to college, I took psychology instead of biology, just because psychology can still do other things, right? So it wasn't really defined just yet, but I just kept on doing what I felt like, and at the end of college, now what do? Do I go to med school? Okay, I'll go to med school, check it out. And if after a couple of years I find out that it's not for me, then at least I tried. It's the only way I would have known, right? And then through that, even through med school, I felt most alive and most passionate when I was in the emergency room. So that was the kind of work that I liked doing. So some people liked, interviewing, taking good history. I liked, moving very fast, and I liked the idea of being able to help in those, in those few minutes. So I guess that's just how I was directed in that way.
Sorry, can I ask? I mean, I watch some TV. Does it really happen like in Grey's Anatomy? Is it really like
Which
that?
part are we talking about?
Oh, okay. The part where they try to help people.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, 'cause
At
we
the
can't
emergency
discuss
situations.
all parts, right?
Not all parts. No, but is it really that exciting? I mean, of course, on TV it's different. But for you as a doctor, having to respond to all of this, of course, that's always human drama right there. Is it really as they depict it on television?
Well, I mean, of course, we know that there's always a little glorification set up for your entertainment, right? But, I mean, there are moments like that. I've been asked quite often, is it like ER, the show? Or, so I don't know if you watched Scrubs. It's really more like that. It's really light, and I mean there are moments, but for the most part, the what you see on like Grey's Anatomy and ER is just those moments, and then they stuck them all together. That's like 1 year's worth in an episode. But we do get those moments, and actually, I think that's really what we do it for. Just those times where you have to do something, and it will make a big difference in the outcome. And, we live for those moments.
I like that. I like it because what your point is, you really work hard, you really prepare. It's nothing like boom, boom, boom every day. You're always put in that kind of situation. But when the situation calls for it, you are there, prepared, ready. You are excellent at it because that's the last question that we're going to be asking you about excellence, right?
Yes, let's go over to Ryan. Ryan, and for you, what is excellence in the context of what you do as a pop writer?
Oh, for me, excellence changes every day. 5 years ago, for me, excellence would be to write a song that sounded good to my mom, After that, it would be something that I would be proud of to show to my friend. And after a while, right now, I just want to be able to write songs for the networks here like I used to be able to do in America. I think that, I guess, not just for me, but for a lot of other people, excellence changes all the time because your goals always change. And whenever you reach these goals, then you just look at something bigger and you try to achieve that.
So you keep setting the bar higher.
Yeah, excellence is an awesome word, I don't think I've hit that point yet. But I'm sitting here, so I guess
You must have done
I guess I'm
something
here for a
excellent.
reason, right? But I feel like excellence is really the pursuit of excellence. Just that mindset of you want to get better, so you always keep trying to get better, and because of that you do get better at doing whatever it is that you're doing. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Actually, it reminds me, I don't know if you guys follow Stephen Covey, The 7 Basic Habits. but his seventh principle is sharpen the saw, which is to always try to improve whatever craft you have, try to come up with a better way. So even though you're on top, you can still get even better, right?
Thank you for sharing that. For you, Rochelle, is excellence a standing ovation, encore, flowers being given to you? Is that excellence?
That's nice, but that's not excellence for me because I set my own standards, you know, because the audience might love my performance, but for me, that was not my best, so that's not excellent. So I guess it's knowing what you're good at doing, knowing what your best is, and being always in that level, and always just keeping towards that goal that you've set to yourself. And so it's very important for me to know what God has given me, the purpose that He's given to me, and that calling. Because my profession is not just a job for me; it's a calling. So.
Absolutely, that's great. Okay, let's go to Pocholo.
Yeah.
In your profession, what is excellence? Is it making
Yeah.
everybody laugh, or is it getting awards?
Okay, I'll give you a background of my dream. You know what? When I was in elementary, I just want to become a factory worker and finish high school. That's how people in my province wants. Because we have this export processing zone, so most of the people just go to they just want to work in a factory. That's my dream. But basically, that dream became different when I entered the University of the Philippines. And I still remember my teacher asked me, "What do you want to become?" And I told her I want to be a factory worker. And she cannot even, believe me.
But if you're the best at it, there's nothing wrong with that.
Excellent factory.
But you know what? The good thing about what happened, I discovered that there's always the best in everyone. And especially, I always believe that Filipinos has the best thing in their life. I mean, at the age of 23, I created my very first company, which is Creative Voices Productions. My goal is to make the Philippines the center of voiceover excellence in Asia. So, because I believe we Filipinos are really good especially in communication. That's why the #1 call centers are here in the Philippines. So, what I did, I went to Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Korea to present the voices of the Filipinos. Even no one believes in me. So, when I was in Japan, I presented the voices of my friends, and the Japanese believes in me. So my first client in Japan is actually Sega. Sega, you know Sega, arcade games. And we did like 8 projects for them, and the latest one is the Transformer. What you play in some time zone are the voices of my fellow Filipino.
All right. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
And 11 years ago, I was already working in the US. But I can't imagine working for the Americans. So that's the reason why I went back to the Philippines and created another organization called the Voice of the Youth Network, which right now we have 18 radio shows running around the country without even spending any cent, because I don't have money. So I don't have a choice. So all I ask is for a radio station to give the Filipino youth a voice on issues that affect them. So even 30 minutes for a week. There's 24 hours a day. What is 30 minutes for a radio station to give the Filipino youth a voice on issues that affect them? And because of that, we won almost 25 local and international awards, because I believe it's not all about the money, but it's all about the passion. So for me, excellence is making other people better. Thank you.
Doing it right.
Good man.
All right, last but not the least, of course, let's go to Dr. Dan. Dan, what is excellence in the field of medicine?
Yeah, actually, I think I agree with Ryan on this. I think excellence is not something that you achieve. It's something that you always look for or chase after. And so I think that when you get really good at something, it may not even be the people that appreciate it that really know, because they don't have that kind of level, right? It's something that you have to set for yourself and always chase after. So let's say, for me, fulfillment in my job is if someone comes to me and says, you know, we're so thankful that you saved my father's life or whatever, right? But then for me, I'm always going to be thinking, you know, I could have caught it earlier if I had just thought of doing this, right? And so that's something that you always push yourself towards. If you find if you love your job, you always want to do it better. And I think that that's what, you know, excellence is in the work.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm sure our audience here basically got the main objective of this segment that we've had here. And we really just wanted to come out and show you and share with you the commonalities in thought processes amongst these wonderful practitioners who they themselves have excelled in the different fields that they belong to, and proving that thought leadership requires focus, determination, passion, out-of-the-box mentality that you heard in whatever field that you choose.
So we've been talking about excellence as a philosophy for these thought leaders. At this point, we'd like to introduce you to 3 more giants in their respective fields to share with us their experiences and philosophies. But before that, we'd like to acknowledge those whose generous support made today possible.